Welcome back, everyone, to our live seminars. My name is Drew Saunders. We also have Yan in our chat for those that are already here waiting. But again, welcome to our channel. We'll be able to have a good discussion today. We have an exciting week planned for everyone involved. So we're happy to be able to have this discussion here because, well, me and Yan were kind of talking about this. And first things first, we kind of feel like those that participate in these videos are more than likely going to be the ones that want to participate in our upcoming plans that we have for you guys, part of our update that's going to PAC protocol. So super excited for this seminar. So I'm going to give a couple seconds for people to come in here. Hi, Yan. Thank you for stopping by and clearing some time again. We all appreciate you being able to do that when you can. So thank you again for stopping by. I'll just give a couple more seconds, let people jump in here. But those that to just get everyone up to date on what our topic for the day is really. I'm going to put it in the chat here. This is our development channel. I'm sorry, I might have put the wrong link. Yeah, I did. One sec. That will take you to our Discord if you're not already there, where you can join in our community discussions. This is the link I wanted to show. It was a Twitter post that was posted earlier today by Yan on our development channel. What you'll be able to see there is one of the screenshots, part of yanSafe. What has been included in not just the testnet, but as we kind of mentioned before, for a product to be able to feature all the cool things that PAC protocol is going to be able to offer, such as yanSafe with the awesome UI that it already has. We need to obviously improve it. Yan has to not improve it, I should say, add to it. Yan has to add the functionality for it so that it's easy for you guys. And not only does he do that, as you can just see in this first screenshot, if you follow that link, but super, just thinking about the users, we think about the space and the individuals that are in cryptocurrency and in blockchain and, in already aware of, minting NFTs, etc. So there's, different users that may want to do it the simple way, a more advanced way, or quote unquote an expert way to have more details or control over the data that is being inputted as the NFT. So when this comes out for you guys, we don't have an exact date. We do have exact dates in our head that we want, but just in case something comes up, we're not going to say it here. But we will, let you guys know that when this is ready, this isn't just, this is an addition to yanSafe, right? So it's a yanSafe environment, and it'll be running on the new, the new testnet that we've been working on to push for the network. So before we push a update to the overall network, after we've already done our test, internal testnet, we thought it best to kind of open it up to the community to participate in the testnet if they would want to. We're going to be a little strategic in who's involved in the testnet because we don't want to accidentally confuse any individuals in thinking that this is mainnet and being confused about anything. So we just want to make sure that those that we do invite to participate in this public testnet are aware that it is a test environment. It's not real PAC, it's not real, all those things. So when we have that planned out, we'll talk about that probably here, and or we'll release something officially to where we can get you guys involved and participate in testing out the new network and the products to be of. So really exciting week for us. We've been waiting for this kind of this stage to be accomplished to where we're comfortable opening up and talking about what we're bringing to this network, because I've said it a million times, and I mean I'll keep saying it. I think it is an extremely innovative addition to our network, and a lot of people are going to be proud of what we've been able to accomplish here. So we want to get you guys involved in that. This is just the first screenshot that he has sent to me. So they'll be coming along as time goes on to show off more of what is included in that. Once you click those the different options, simple, advanced, experts, obviously there's another page, so you'll be able to see how it looks. And I think Yan has done an amazing job in designing this, keeping in mind that there's different users. those that want more steps and advanced features, blah, blah, blah. And those that just want, super easy 1, 2, 3. So really cool. So I'll let you guys, maybe if you guys have any questions that you guys want to bring up about this specifically, Yan is in the chat. So any questions, feel free. We're kind of at that point of release kind of feeling that we're a little bit more, able to talk about certain things now that we're at that stage. So feel free if you guys have any questions. What we can look at while you guys come up with any of your questions that you guys may have, I can give you, I'm not going to show them because I'm leaving that up to Yan to show the other screenshots of what we've got going on here. So that'll come from his direction there. But what we can talk about is, at the very top of that where it says mode, token info, metadata minting. For instance, like the second page, the token info, information you can expect to see there. Like the token name, obviously, like what are you going to name this NFT, ticker, etc. There will be differences in between the test environment and the mainnet, because in the test environment, there are no restrictions on the supply attached to an NFT or token. I don't want to get too confusing. That's why I said we have to be careful with everyone that's involved, make sure that everyone is up to speed and everything. But you'll be able to see the different options of when we get to that point of allowing people to create their own token supplies on PAC protocol, not just non-fungible tokens, which is a supply of one, but this update also has the additional feature that, there's going to be different tokens that can be created and operational on the PAC protocol network, different projects, quote unquote. So that's where you'll see the information, or for your token information, like total decimal points, maximum supply of this token, the ticker name, the name of it, description of what it's about. All that information can be put inside the NFT data. So really cool. Inside the token information. Sorry about that. But again, there's two major, steps to this update, where it's not just you can initiate your own token supply, but you can also mint your own NFTs, and you'll be able to input the information for that right there. So I think everyone's going to be really, really impressed with this. See, when we are able to release those screenshots, we'll push those out probably through the same method that Yan chose to on the first one. And other people will be able to see it. But again, we're going to be listing some steps on how you guys can get involved in participating with the actual product. No, Adonis Crypto, we didn't say exactly what day public testnet is, because we're actually we're ready for it. We're just giving enough time to kind of organize who's involved in it. So we threw around dates like, okay, let's do it this Friday. And then we were like, well, maybe we should just push it to Monday, just so that we give ourselves a couple more days to get organized with who's going to be involved. And it may be at the end of next week. But we're at that stage now where we're openly addressing the fact that we're doing a public testnet now. That's our next stage. Product's almost ready for it. So on Yan's go ahead, we will push forward with that. Yep, perfect. Yan just gave that reply right there. There's no fixed date as right now. Hoping to have it done as soon as possible. And once we have eliminated all the critical bugs that have come up already in the past, we'll publish the testnet based by slot system. Talking about the critical bugs, at this moment, there isn't any significant ones that are stopping our progress, but there have been in the past. That's why we're happy we're at this stage. So bearing any setbacks in between when we want to announce this and when we actually do, and there's any bugs that pop up, should be coming up within the next couple weeks, within probably this week. Like not this week, but the following week as well, is what I'm trying to say. No definitive dates, but we'll find one and we'll get you guys involved. How will people be able to buy/sell NFTs minted on PAC? One way that you can transact an NFT is just directly with someone, just like you can send PAC directly to someone as well. You don't have to obviously go through an exchange to exchange something like that, but it will be something that is obviously in our plans for not only yanSafe but yanDNA, to where a marketplace type environment exists, and or maybe it'll be an additional product that comes up down the line so that you can list your NFTs, I guess. But it's important to note that yanDNA will eventually have that kind of environment built into it where you can use yanTOKEN, PAC as well, other means as well to acquire different files and or NFTs within the yanDNA ecosystem. But when we get to that point where we have it all figured out, I mean, we had to get this update out first before we can start planning ahead too much. So it'll all tie together. But first and foremost, I just think it's a huge accomplishment that PAC protocol, not only one of the largest and fastest growing master networks to be in existent, period. But another cool fact of it is now we have the ability to mint NFTs. We have an IPFS network that is able to scale across PAC's scalability. And then eventually, when we unveil the spork, that people will be able to create their own tokens and their own supply and have their own projects. PAC protocol also has that capability to where different projects can now run across this network, not be tied to always having to use specifically PAC, but maybe different use cases are created. That's what's cool about having an environment that you can keep it in, in network, but expand out of it at the same time, if that makes sense. And I think we accomplished that with the token layer. And sky's the limit using IPFS technology for data storage. And if the people want it to grow, it will grow and it will be used. And I think there's going to be a huge shout when people start realizing what we've tied together while we've been doing this, talking about our strategic partners and others that have become more precedent and more, tied to what we were aiming at. So they're going to be a vital part of what we're doing this year. You guys will see that. So this update is a real good milestone that we finally are able to say that we got. yanDNA is not a token or a cryptocurrency. That's a name of one of our products for IPFS data storage. So the token that is associated with it is tied to this update that we're presenting to PAC protocol. That's why we're excited for this public testnet to occur. yanTOKEN, that is one that you'll be able to transact and use on yanDNA. Other products that we have and will release, such as yanSafe and PAC app. And then eventually, yes, of course, it's in my plans to get yan associated on the same exchanges that PAC is already, and obviously expand that list as time goes on. Same for PAC. Any more questions, guys, that you guys may have on this? Or like I said, you can expect some more tweets on that development account for those other screenshots that I was talking about. I couldn't show you, but I was waiting for Yan's go ahead on that. He has some things still to fix on it. So, but expect that on the Twitter. It's part of this. Any update on a new CEO? No, it's not something that is kind of really being targeted. We're moving together as a collective, as a company front. All of our owners that are involved with our everyday needs, we're moved together as a collective group. We will announce a new CEO when that time arrives. There are some potential, I guess the word would be potential advocates, but we'll see if that ends up being the right position to fill at that time. But we're going to have a very fun year. So just all these questions and positions and things like that, to us, that's something that doesn't matter without the product being built and built right. And we have our connections that we built, with the core here. This is the core of PAC protocol, our team, and of PAC Global, I should say. Our team has always been this, nothing but expanding and bringing on new talent. And if positions open, we always will fill that with someone that we feel is going to push us in the direction that we feel we need to go. All tokens running on PAC blockchain will be using PAC coins for gas fees. Is there going to be any? If there is going to be any. So if I understand your question correctly, yes, there will be other tokens that can transact on the PAC protocol blockchain when this update is at full release, which includes the ability for someone to create their own supply. Take in note, you will need native PAC to, I guess, redeem it. Is a way that you could use that. When I say redeem, I mean like transfer that PAC into its own supply of a different token, kind of like a collateral event. Not to be returned though. So that is kind of like a fee associated with it. And then also like transaction fees and stuff like that transacting this new supply from one to the other. You'll just have to wait and see in how we've designed that. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, the transaction fees. So like for any, like if a new token and a new supply was created on PAC protocol and you want to transact the new token, there's going to be a fee attached to it, which is PAC. So essentially, you know, if you want to call it a gas fee, sure, but it's the same kind of fee mechanism that PAC uses. And it was designed specifically to prevent transaction attacks and stuff like that that have occurred on other chains and PAC in the past, like years ago. So we specifically targeted that to make sure that wasn't going to be something that was used against us. But then also wanted to make sure that, well, if a new token is being utilized on the PAC protocol chain, you know, the least that could happen is that PAC fee is used because this network only exists because of the master nodes that are using PAC as collateral to exist. So PAC is definitely a centric point of the token environment that we're trying to present here. And I think it's just going to bring more and more demand to PAC alone, especially if different utilities come from different tokens and different creations that happen. You know, not everything is going to be coming from PAC Global Holdings LLC for the different projects that are capable of launching on this network now. You know, if someone wants to use PAC protocol, PAC native coins to, you know, do something, a use case, whatever, build a product and use it, everyone's open and free to do that. I mean, that's obviously what, you know, PAC Global Holdings does. We've built PAC app, yanSafe, yanDNA, et cetera, and you can interact with them using PAC freely if you want to. But that will be the case now for potentially all these other, you know, projects that could build on top of PAC protocol and use their token instead for specific use cases. But PAC will still be needed to transact on those for the transactions. So I think it's a pretty cool thing to be a part of. There are certain restrictions, yes. I mean, like these are the type of questions that you guys are going to be really excited to like. You're gonna find all this information out inside the product. That's how it's super. It's so user friendly. But that is one of the things that we were testing to make sure there's no duplicates of names. Like if someone makes a token name, you know, like for instance BTC whatever on the PAC protocol, can someone else also, you know, you don't want to have any duplicates. So there are some restrictions, kind of like think about domain restrictions. You know, if it's already registered, you can't take it. So that I think is pretty neat in itself, that you have this brand new, not brand new, but a network that is capable of, you know, launching a new project on, and you can claim a name, and that works the same way for the ticker and the name that you give an NFT. So it's pretty interesting, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. If the PC desktop application is closed but you're using VULTR, is your node still running properly, or do you have to have the application running at all times? No, you can. Yeah, absolutely. If you're using a third-party provider for your server, your computer isn't what needs to stay on. It's that server. So you can, if you're connected and good to go, everything says good, green lights everywhere. Yeah, you can turn it off. You can even you can turn your computer off completely, close the application. You don't need to leave the wallet open. Adonis Crypto, your question. So when the testnet goes live for the public, will yanTOKEN be created at that time? So what you're going to notice in this testnet, there's certain differences from mainnet and testnet when we launch mainnet. The purpose of testnet is for other individuals to interact with the token layer. So being able to mint your own supply, give your own name, mint an NFT instead, if that's what you want to do. We're going to let you do all those things. On mainnet, there will not be the immediate availability to mint your own supply of a token, because on mainnet, that's when yanTOKEN will be minted. And that we want to leave it that way for at least the initial part of this update, unless things change, unless that changes and we do launch that all together at the same time. But the reason why I wanted to keep that separate is so that more focus is put on yanTOKEN and letting that, you know, be used better. Be used first, especially for yanDNA, so people can experiment with it. But if that changes, we'll let you know. We haven't finalized it, Caleb, but we have consistently been using the same, I guess, example of 100 yan to 5 gigabytes of storage kind of example in all of our mockups and designs, and then also figuring out the kind of tokenomic model that yanDNA and tied to the gigabyte aspect of it, tied to how much data storage you have would play, and if it makes sense. So I don't think we're going to deter too far from that. I think that 100 YAN to 5 gigabytes sounds good still, but that is still susceptible to change until we have that completely pushed out the door and ready for you guys. But it'll have its own mechanism to like tie the value of YAN that's represented on, let's just say, an exchange. That value would have to be updated at a time base that makes sense, so that it's not consistently, if YAN price goes up, you don't want that to immediately affect how much storage space you can acquire with that, so that you don't deal with, potential spikes or manipulation or anything like that. So there will be an API to tie it. We're still coming up with how frequent the API updates the YAN to data storage correlation. So there's a lot of things that are tied into that aspect, and it's just a lot of work. But when we have that out there, you're gonna enjoy the fact that you can change how much YAN is in your account. You're not giving it to anyone. It's just being recognized as a collateral, so that you can have access to X amount of storage space, and you'll be able to add to it, take it away, whatever. Just depends on how you want to manage your supply of YAN. What is the total supply of YAN? So one thing to note that's kind of like really good information is that I'm trying to pull up the right one. For our model right now, for how this update is going to be launched, the maximum supply of a token that can be created. Let me just make sure I read this right, because there's no commas. I think it's 2.1 trillion. 2.1 trillion is the maximum, like 2.1 and some change, a maximum of a token supply that can be made. So I'm not saying that's what YAN's going to be, but that's just good information to know. But as far as yanTOKEN goes, my original concept of it was to match the overall supply of, like, not overall supply, but the time span that PAC protocols supply till maximum is reached. Currently, the average block and 576 blocks a day over a year, blah, 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 takes about 9 years for that 50 billion to be reached. So my metric was 9 years, do the same math, come up with how long it would take for yanTOKEN to last the same way. And it was like 200 million YAN, give or take, was the amount needed to reach that. So the way that it'll be dispersed to masternode owners, and like when they're getting their reward and then they get yanTOKEN as well, it's done externally. And what I don't want to happen is where we get to that point where got to think 9 years ahead. So I know this might sound stupid, but you just got to plan. You get 9 years ahead, and the supply of PAC has changed. Well, that's great, because that can happen. It's happened in the past where an update was presented and the supply of PAC went from 100 billion to 50 billion. And so what if that were to change? What if it were to change in the pot, like going up in supply, or what if it was presented to go down again and everyone agreed on it again? What if changes happen? So I don't want that to impact the supply of YAN, or how much supply of YAN will be needed if it goes past that 9-year part. But that's just, that's where I come to a halt, because then I'm like, okay, I can't think past that part. But for right now, I think the total supply it's not concreted in, but I've discussed 200 million, which would last around that 9-year, payout for PAC supply as well. But if that changes, it'll be changed, but it will be obviously, it'll be made known to everyone. The supplies are fixed of the tokens that are created. What happens to node operators when all the PAC has been distributed via rewards? Again, that's something that would happen 9+ years from now, and that's taking into account that it's never been addressed. And I believe that we would address it before that point came up, to where the masternode owners are still being rewarded in some way, as they always have been and should continually, as if they're giving the resources to the network and providing the job needed, then absolutely they should always be rewarded. But when, like I said, 9 years is give or take the time length for PAC supply to quote unquote run out under current supplies, that'll be addressed, whenever, if ever, if needed. Also, I expect that within 9 years we'll have some pretty good advancements in the blockchain world. If you look 9 years ago, where blockchain was, and go here now, some pretty big changes that we'd have to keep up with. So hopefully that keeps going to where, hey, maybe the updates that we're going to be seeing, we don't even know about yet. That's the exciting part. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by. We're about at the 30-minute mark. Again, pay attention to that Twitter if you guys can. If not there, Discord will be posting the links as well. We're just giving a heads up to go check it out when we post those other screenshots of the UI for the NFT update for PAC protocol. And we will also give you guys the information on when you guys can participate in the public testnet. That again will be the availability to mint an NFT onto the chain, to create your own token, supply, description, yada yada yada, tons of features. You guys are going to really enjoy it. I know it's been a long time coming. It's been a hard work, bumpy road. Just a lot of work, a lot of sweat and tears from a lot of different people. But we're excited that we're finally at this point to present the overall grand scheme of this update, and why it's important that this network sees the benefits of being able to support something like this. It's not just in the name of PAC protocol when you have a network that is capable of supporting other projects and other token supplies. I mean, you can come up with your own comparisons and who's your competitors, blah blah blah. But yanDNA, IPFS, we provide the use cases. The network is being provided by you, the people, and we're planning for a great year. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll catch up with you guys in the next seminar.